Okay, this is a short animation. You should see the bowling pins and the bowling ball. Before rendering multiple number of frames, I mean, I'm not talking about just one or two in a dozen frames. Before rendering like a couple hundred frames or even more than 1,000 frames, render one or two, renders frame one or two, and render like 150 or 100, okay, around the middle of the animation, and go to the end of the animation, which means if your animation has 300 frames, you'd go to like a 290 frames or over 300 frames and render and see if everything is okay. So we all know how to create a camera, right? Create and camera, and select this camera. Let's say this is a camera, and we have no ideas where this guy is currently looking at. You go to panels and go to perspective, and this is a new camera I just created, and this is it. You can move it like this, see, up and down, left and right, and then also you see this is it. See, move away, closer, and then you can rotate it. See, you can rotate it, tilt it. So let's say you want to animate this camera, and this is timeline. Just the one hotkey that you should remember is S. So you want to start from here. Okay, I'm going to select my camera. This is a new camera. Okay, new cam. Okay, this is new cam. Perspective, new cam. Okay, so you are ready to animate this camera. Okay, hit S. Only one hotkey that you should remember. S. And do you see this red? Oh, that's a keyframe. That's keyframe. And then you have to select your camera. Okay, this is camera. And then let's say you want to create render 50 frame, 50 frame, and you have to move this 50 frame. Okay, here's 50 frame. Okay, looks like we have a little too many keyframes there. 600, yeah, let's go 100. All right, so I select the 50 frame right here, 50 frame. Then grab your camera and move to this direction. Okay. If you don't want to hit S every time you move your camera, okay, guys, pay attention. Check on this. This is called auto key toggle. Once you check on this, you don't have to hit S every time when you move this camera. You don't have to. See, I'm gonna go next frame here, 60 something frame. You move this camera like this. See, you don't have to hit S. Once you activate this auto keyframe toggle, you don't have to hit S every time. See, look at this. This is my camera, new camera. This camera. See where this camera is moving. See it moving toward bowling pin and move to the left. You see that? And I'm gonna select this. Let's preview this animation with this camera one, a new camera. So the camera that I used, new cam. So let's very quickly go over here. So go to render setting, and you should follow all this instruction. And preset must be HD 1080. And what's important here, we're not using for this 60 something frame. We're not using motion blur. We're using this new cam. This is important. New cam. Okay, and then go to render. If you don't, unless you select this render, you won't see this menu, render and the render sequence. And here's again, wrong camera. You gotta select the right camera. Right camera is new cam, okay? And then click render sequence. And then you'll get the 63 in a frame. And all images will be saved, okay, automatically saved in this folder. Project folder and images folder. You find the whatever number of frame you rendered from specific camera that you chose. Looks everything okay. Light intensity and colors looks perfect. And then what you need to do, you need to go to render setting there. If you go to render setting, you should see this edit and preset help. Go to edit and click on this. And then what do you see here? Edit and preset. You will see project window right there, project window. And here, and you'll see current project, you should have default, and then you find the new button on the right. You click this new button, And you can type whatever you want. You can type the your name, and you can type project, or you can type title, title of your animation. And then location is important. You have to select this. And you want to save this folder, your project folder. Let's call this one your project, my project folder. Project folder. You want to save this project folder on your desktop or your external hard drive or your USB jump drive or your Google Drive or Dropbox. You have to select it where you want to save this folder, your project folder. Okay, and then select. So once you're done, you will have this project folder. So I use a test project folder. Okay, if you go to your test project folder, you will see this bunch of folders, such as look at this asset, autosave and cache, clips and data, images, movies, many folders there. So from now on, after creating, you haven't created this project folder yet. After creating this folder, every single file that you use or you will use for your animation must be stored, saved in here. Some people have more than 1 mile files, 2 mile files, 3 mile files, 5 mile files. Save them all in here, scenes folder. And then after rendering multiple number of frames, you want to save those image file, save in here. I already saved a bunch of image file. I think this is the one I created earlier. And let's say you want to use some music, okay, some sound or sound effect, some noise. Save them here. Photoshop, or you created some material, textures in Photoshop. You saved as a JPG, in a PNG, and GIF or TIFF, whatever. You use them, okay, or you will use them for your object. Save them here. Every single file, okay, you have used already on your animation. You through this scene, or you are going to use them for your project, for your animation, must be stored in here. Organizing skill is very important if you are an aspiring animator, computer animator. Render in the settings, and then next you go to your file name prefix. This is a bowling, whatever you want here, your name or title of your animation, test, whatever. But once you type the whatever in here, you will get the new name. Look at this. This test01 JPG, the very first file. The very first file you will get will be named like the test01. What if you type the June? So look at it. The very first file, JPG file, will be automatically named as June01. And what about last file? June 50. Why 50? Because of this. Start frame is 1 and end frame is 50. So what if you render 1 through 50? What happens if you render, if you like to render like a 50 through 150, for instance, not from 1. So you can type here 50 through 150. Like this. So you will render 100 frame because you render from 50 through 150. So look at the very first one is June 50, 50. The last one is June 150. Makes sense? So you're done. And let's say after reviewing your animation and in Maya, you kind of notice that you don't like it. You had it in between, 150 and 200. You want to skip it. You can skip it. And you still like to render from 200 through 300. Yeah, not a big deal. 200 and type 300. Look at this. June 200. Last one is June 300. And the image format, don't forget this. You have to select the JPG. Don't select this PNG. Don't select the Maya. Don't select something else, EXL. Select the JPG. And the quality, image quality is not 100%. Yours, drag all the way to the right, 100%. And the name, number, extension. Okay, if you choose name, extension, number, you will get kind of weird name. This is not going to work. See, June JPG 200. Odd, very odd name. So you're gonna select this one, name, number, and extension, JPG. So, and then what's important here is the this one, renderable, right camera. Which one is proper camera? So we are using, let's say you wanna render from your camera 1, which is motion blur 1, not camera 2, which is motion blur 2. You have to define the right camera, proper camera. Renderable camera is a motion blur 1, not 2. And the preset, okay, be careful with this preset, must be HD 1080, which will give you a width 1920, height 1080, and the resolution 72. That's it. So once it's done, okay, so think about it. Here's starting 200 and end 300. So if you click render button, you will get the 100 images. We don't know how long it will take to render in 100 frames. So and then you can close this one. One more step. So look at this. If you select the modeling, you don't see render. You see, but you see edit mesh and the mesh tool kind of thing. So if you choose the rigging, you should see a skeleton skin. And if you select the animation, you should see the audio visualizer and the form. And if you select the FX, you see totally different types of menu sets. And if you select the render ring, you finally see render. So you should go right there, render. Don't forget to select the rendering, and then go to render. And then go to render sequence. So when you just render a frame, just single frame, you can choose this, render current frame, one frame. But if you like to render multiple frame, render sequence, you have to select this one. Rather than selecting these words, render sequence, click this box, empty box, and then we have to select the right camera here. This is wrong camera, right? The current camera is not a side camera, but motion blur 1. See, a little confusing. So go to render setting, double check, make sure that you selected the right camera. Right camera is a motion blur in 1. And once you finish the setting, and then go to render and the render sequence. And also you should choose this one. This is wrong camera. And this is also wrong camera. This is the right camera, motion blur 1. So once it's done, this 100 frame, probably you're gonna render from another camera, right? Camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. And then also make sure you choose the right camera in both render setting and the render sequence. So this is right one, motion blur, and all render enabled layers. And if you click this, I'm not gonna click on this. Then we have to sit here next 5 or 6 hours doing nothing. I'm not gonna do that. So once you click this, you will get 100 frames, 100 JPG anyway. So I already rendered these images before in this meeting. So look at this. These are images, a couple hundred images. See, many images. How many images? 690 images. You can still make a 30 seconds or even 1 minute or 2 minutes long animation with the 690 frames. How to? You can adjust the speed and duration. You can adjust the tempo of your animation. You can use slow motion, make a longer animation. But if you don't want to adjust the speed and the tempo kind of things, you need at least 720 frames to make a 30 second long animation. Let's say I use a bowling. I think I deleted the camera that I used. The name of the camera was bowling, and I rendered 50 frame. Set the 50 frame. Also, I used another camera, which is bowling 2, also rendered 50. Right. So look at this. Bowling 3 also rendered 50. And the close-up camera, I rendered a lot, 200 frames. And the panning camera, I used a couple hundred frames. Okay. So if I select these 50 images that I rendered with this bowling is the camera name, 50. And then let me open this one. Are you sure you want to open 50 items? Yeah. All right, look at this on the left, the preview menu here. They all look pretty much the same, but they're slightly different. You used to play with the flip books when you were very small. If I move It's like flipbook. Move images quickly. This we can preview your animation. The animation we just previewed were made with this 50 pages, 50 pages of flipbook. Okay. So now we're going to wonder how to make the animation with this 50 images, 50 images. Welcome back to Premiere Pro. You should see new project and open project. Of course, we're going to start a new project, right? New project. Okay, what is this? New project window here. In the name, you can type whatever name, title of your animation. And the next one is location. So you may understand, you may guess, which folder we should select, from here, browse. Okay, don't select here, don't select desktop, Maya, or, document, application, no. You should select your project folder right here, okay? This is your project folder. And then choose. And that's it. And click OK. All right. This is the interface of Adobe Premiere. So it looks quite actually different from Photoshop, or Illustrator. Very first things you need to do is you need to import what? Import frames that you rendered. Yeah, you need to import this. You probably have a couple hundred frames, maybe 1,000 frames, even more than 1,000, 2,000. Yeah, import everything, every single frame that you rendered to here, to Premiere. So how to import these stills? Go to File and Import, and then go to your project folder. One thing you should be really careful when importing these images into a Premiere. You should take a look very carefully. Look at this. We have bowling _1 and 01 and the 02, 03, 05 and moves on. And then until 50. And what about this? This is bowling 2. This is just bowling, and this is bowling 2. That means I used bowling, the camera, a camera called bowling, and rendered 50 frames only, 50 frames only. And then I switch it. Another camera, called bowling 2. So then I used a different camera, and then rendered. See bowling 2, look at this, bowling 2, oh, we see bowling 3, rendered 49, 50 frame, also 50 frame until here. So also after that, also I switch it to another camera, which is bowling 3, and then rendered until right here, also 50 frame. But when you import images, okay, rendered images, you should do one by one. You cannot import all this at once. I already did, right? File and import, and then go to bowling 1, and then go to lower left corner and use the C options there, options. So click and open this option, and what do you see? Image sequence. You see that we are, okay, this is very important. We are about importing not just one image, right? But 50 images, 50 images, 50 JPGs. But look at this. I didn't select all 50 images, but I selected only one image. So this camera rendered 50 images. You have to select only one. Once it's done, you have to select only this one, bowling 2 and 1 image. Be careful, select only one image rather than entire image, 50 images. So also check this was image sequence. If bowling 1 and options, image sequence, and import. Okay, we just imported. So it looks like a bowling 1 and 01 JPG. It looks like just one images, right? but actually not. This is not just one images. How do you know this one? Do you see this? Also, you can drag this one too in a timeline. Let me play this. So this is 50 frames. All right, same thing. If you like to import more frames, file, import, and let's see, we already imported this 50 images from bowling 1 through bowling 50. So now we need to select this one, the very first image of bowling 2 camera, okay? Bowling 2 and first image. Okay, select only one, and then option, already checked. See image sequence, checked, and then import. All right, so as you can see, this is called the composition, composition and project window, and these two are movie file, video file. Okay, this is bowling 2, and this is bowling, and I'm gonna drag this one to right here. Okay, let's watch this. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. So if you'd like to check the exact duration each clip, you go to project window, and then also you can find the exact duration of each clip. This video duration, this was 1 second and 20 frame, and this one also 1 second and 20 frame. Even if we use the 50 frames, why this one 1 second 20 frames? Is that correct? So we are using 24 frames per second. See that right here, 24 frames per second. Is this correct? So, but we use the 24 frames per second in Maya. Actually, 1 second and 20 frames. The duration 20, 20, 20. This is wrong. So we have to fix this one. We're not using 29.97 frames per second. We're using 24 frames per second. So select this one, okay? Right click and go to modify. And you will see here, interpret in footage. And then what you see here is a modified clip. You should see interpret footage tab. Use frame rate from file 29.9. This is wrong. So we have to select this. Assume this frame rate, not 1, definitely not 1, type of 24. That's it. So look at this. New duration frame rate is 29 frames per second, and the new duration 2 seconds and 1 frame. This is the correct one. So I'm going to delete all this. Same thing. Right click, modify, interpret footage, and assume this frame rate 24. Do this same thing for the modify, interpret footages, and then 24. Done. So now we have 2 second and 1 frame, 2 second 1 frame, and this one also 2 second and 1 frame. So let's drag this here and change sequence setting. Yep. This one changes sequence setting. Changes sequence setting. Let's preview again. Probably subtly different. Okay, this one is a little longer than earlier one because we used right frames per second, frame rate 24 frames per second. So after placing, you probably have many clips. Drag them to timeline and just play. Let's see. So for instance, you kind of like to place the this clip, the end clip in the beginning, and you can just switch that. Drag right in the beginning, like for instance. Okay, and then play this. All right. And what if you like to cut part of your clips? Just to cut, just cut. You can cut in the beginning. You can cut like this. And what about this gap? Grab this next one and then drag. So what if you like to cut in between? For instance, you want to cut around here. You want to get rid of this part. In and out. India, and orange. In and out. And then you can use this too. Lift, and this one is extract. If you extract this one, you won't have any gap after removing some part of your clips. If you select this lift, and you still have gap here. So you can drag manually. You can fill this up by dragging. Also, if you like to slightly adjust the speed, so you kind of realize that your animation is too fast, your animation is too slow. You want to go back to Maya and render again, and then spending another couple hours or 1 day or 2 days. You can adjust in the speed a little bit, not too much. You can slightly adjust in the speed. So by going to right click, and you can find the speed and duration. Look at this. This clip has a 2 second and 2 frame right now, right? This kind of frame. Let's say you want to make it a little faster. And then you can say, instead of 2 second and 2 frame, let's say, what if you want to use the 1 second and 15 frame and make it faster? See, watch this. But what if you like to make the slow motion? Yeah, let's go to speed and duration. This is 128%. You can go like 2 seconds. What about 3 seconds? Okay. Oh, stretched a lot. It's kind of slow motion. You know what? You got to be careful when you use the speed and duration. If you do too much, this 57% from the original. The original speed is 100%. So I change it. I can modify this. Okay, speed from 100% to 57%. If you do too much, you can definitely have some jerky, choppy, movement. There is no video transition, no fancy video transition in between these two in a shot. Okay, two video. This is called straight cut. Nothing wrong with this. But if you are ambitious about adding some visual interest, you might consider by going to, you should click right here, and the effect. So you have several different drop-down menu here. So you need to go, if you like to add some video transitions, any types of video transition, go to effect. You can find the effect right here. And we have preset here, and what are we have audio effect there, audio transition, and video effect, video transition. So you need to go to video transition. Okay, also you can find a bunch of different types of video transition. Look at this, 3D motion dissolve, and iris here, and so slide, right? Wipe here and zoom. So not every single video transition is good. You know what? As a matter of fact, the most of video transition in here are not good, actually. No, it's kind of outdated, but some of them are still good, actually still widely used among animators and filmmakers, video makers. And there are this cross dissolve and film dissolve like this. So before we try this good video transition, you've probably seen this kind of cheap video transition many times while watching television or some movies or some documentary. See, like look at this. This is iris cross. What it does, okay, just drag it. Yeah, it's very easy to apply this video transition. Just grab whatever the video transition that you like to use on your animation and drag it in between two shots. So just like this. So let's watch this. You know what I'm talking? Probably you've seen this kind of video trend. So what if you don't like this? Select this and delete it. Let's try the something else. Probably the page or the page fill. See, kind of ugly. You don't have to use this. I mean, the straight cut. This is straight cut. It's okay. Nothing wrong with this. If you ask me, which one you suggest, I recommend us. I say this one, cross dissolve or film dissolve. Let's try this, like a film dissolve. Do you see this? And what about the cross dissolve? Slightly different. Default duration of this video transition is exactly 1 second. And then you use the multiple number of video transition in your 30 seconds long animation, probably too much. The 1 second might be too long. This kind of a 1 second long video transition might be good for the 61 hour long documentary, or it's a 90 minutes documentary. Sometimes video makers and filmmaker use even longer than 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. But for you, I think 1 second is way too long. So let's say you really want to use this, okay, video transition. Okay, you can use it, but you don't have to use. But I want you to change the duration. So how to change the duration? Click and select video transition and go to effect control window. So effect and effect controls windows are different. Okay, this effect when you select when you need to find select video transition or the audio transition, you need to go to effect. Okay, when you adjust the duration and other things, you need to go to effect controls window. If you go to if you don't select this video transition, you won't see those options. You must click and select, and then you will see this video transition. So what you need to do here, you will see duration there, duration. This is 1 second. 1 second, as I told you earlier, so 1 second is way too long. So what we can do, you can use the 15 frames, or you can use the 10 frames. Like, let's say 15 frames instead of 1 second. All right, watch your shoulder. See that? This is 15 frames instead of 1 second. Still too long, then select that and go to effect controls window and change this one, duration 10 frame. Yeah, I think 10 frame is works pretty good for your animation, the short animation. Also, I want you to create title and credit. How to create title? So you need to go to File and do New and the legacy title. The title, type here's title of your animation, and width 1920. Height must be 1080, and time base 24 frames per second, and click OK. Yeah, again, I don't know why they Adobe people still keep this. This is all bad, terrible. Yeah, don't use this legacy style. See, they say the legacy. They should get rid of this legacy. All fashion. That all sucks. So start with this key, and you can type title of your animation. Title of your animation, once upon a time, in bowling green, you can place centers in the top or bottom or left and right. You decide it. Also, you have freedom to choose the font. What kind of font? You can change font. So, and you can select the style and the font size. And other things, color, definitely you can change color, and the opacity, and what counting here. Well, there are many things you can do with this title. So, all right, so I'll close this. I just made a title. So as soon as you close the title window, it will be saved in your project window. Here we go. Look at this title. So how to import this title into your timeline? Just simply drag it this one. Oh, look at this. This is long, probably 5 seconds. So you can cut like this. We don't need that long title. you're not gonna show your title throughout your entire your animation. So if you play this like this, say we will see, viewers will see title with your black background, and it will stay a little while until the animation start and disappears, and then the people are gonna watch your animation. And then also I want you to create a credit, the legacy title, and this will be just credit. Typically what we do, we add animation by your name. You want to add Western Kentucky University or some art 244 computer animation. I don't know. But I think this is kind of minimum information that you must provide. Who made this? I think the most important information about your animation. Who did this? Who did this masterpiece? See, and then typically I use 3 lines instead of 1 line. Or you can type the title actually. Title of your animation. And then change alignment. And title is more important than the name of artist. I think we should prioritize which one is more important. Everything is important. This is not important at all, right? Definitely not important. And you can make it smaller, like for instance. So, not important. I think that you can make it even smaller. See, definitely more, prominence, pronounced, distinct title of animation. And who did this? Turns out. And here's credit you can place over here. So as you can see, this is also huge, really long. So here's title. And then we're gonna watch your animation. See video transition and end. So what if we like to show a title only in the beginning? Well, just drag the entire clip to the right. And then say after title, they're gonna watch your movie, your animation will start after title. What about this? You want to show your title at the top of your animation, or you want to show the credit only after your animation? It's really up to you. Do you think this is better, or this is better? Or do you think that? Oh. Do you like to show your title at the top of your animation, something like this? It's really up to you. Typically, we place our title in the beginning. Typically, we place a credit at the end. Well, some animators, this one looks a little bit unprofessional, the way we present our title and the credits. What we need to do, you might add some nice transition, like a fade in effect and fade out effect. How to make a fade in effect? First of all, you need to click and select your title and go to effect control window, right? Don't get confused with the effect control window and the effect. If you like to apply some video transitions or audio transition, you need to go to effect. So if you like to adjust opacity and to create some fade in effect, fade out effect, you should go to effect controls window. And then you should see motion kind of things, opacity. Okay, here we go. This is what we need. Okay, with opacity, transparency. So you can start with 0% transparency. If you type 0%, we won't see nothing. Everything is invisible. Start with 0 opacity and then create keyframe. Okay, start with 0. And as the time goes by, and you can increase that opacity value. You see that I just made a fade in effect. If you like to show this transition effect, fade in effect a little longer, you can drag the second keyframe to the right. Just provide more time, more frame in between the initial keyframe and second keyframe. So look at this. If I play this, this is fade in effect. You can make a fade out effect as well. So let's say I'm going to drag stretch a little bit more, and then fade out effect will start from here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the end and change opacity value here. Just do you understand? This is 0%. 100% opacity, 100% opacity, and 0% opacity. So look at this. 0%, 100%, stay, okay, about 1 second, and the fade out start from here. See, 0. So you can make that kind of things for your animation as well, rather than boom. It's kind of unprofessional, unless you wanna, you wanna make the people kind of surprised or deliberately, do this. Typically, we make a fade in effect in the beginning. Probably most of the movies and the films, of the animation and video, filmmakers and video makers use some kind of a nice, beginning, smooth beginning. So you can do something, select this clip and go to effect controls window and opacity, and then keyframe. All right, start with 0, and then I'm gonna move to the right, and then switch this back to 100%. So what's this? So this is fade in effect. You can do same thing for the fade out effect right here. Let's see fade in. So we're gonna watch your animation, and all of a sudden it disappears. You can make the fade out effect. So effect controls window and opacity, keyframe, assign with 100% opacity, and go to the end. And what if you change the opacity to 0? So look at this. Let's make this fade out too. Opacity, start with 0. Opacity, move to the right, 100%, and then 100%, and at the end, 0%. Okay, see, title of animation, and this, and end. See, professionally end, professionally end. Unless you want to make a silent cinema, silent animation, you might want to incorporate some nice music and background music or some sound effects. You should also import the sound file. So what you can do, go to project window where we can find all the clips, and this is a composition here. Go to file and import. Right, so you need to go to your project folder. Don't forget to save the sound file in here, and then don't forget to save your project file, the premium file, in here, in this project. Okay, for instance, you want to use this sound file. Okay, for instance, select this one and import it. So now you should see the sound file. The icon is different, right, from others. See this title and the credit, and these are clip 1, 2, 3 clips, and this is composition window. This is it. So this is a sound file, as you can see, audio waveform, and you can of course preview and drag this one too. Right here. Now we should see audio waveform here. Yeah, this is clip, and this title, credit, and this is sound file. And the B means video, and A means audio. Yeah, that's very clear. See, B1, these are track. You can use a multiple track. See, we're using multiple track. See, I'm gonna highlight this one too. 2 tracks for video and 1 track. Do you think we can use multiple tracks for the sound file? Yes. So let's say you wanna, this kind of new age music, as well as the, bowling. I think you can find a bunch of different websites where you can download some royalty, free, sound file from. This is one of them. Probably one of the 100. It's just, what is it? This findsounds.com, and I found one sound file, and right click and save link as, save download link as, whatever. Are you familiar with this? How to download sound file? I think you are, right? Probably more familiar than I am. I just downloaded this sound file. Okay, and then go to Premiere, import, and then what is it? Here's bowling. And I'm going to import this one. We already have a sound file here. And I just wanted to show you guys, you can use multiple sound track. As you can see here, you can use multiple track. So here's bowling. So I'm gonna place somewhere here, right? What if you like to use one more? Hold down Option and duplicate. So what's this? So you have to play around with this in the title and the clips and the speed and duration and placement. You want to place this one in the middle or in the beginning or the end, and the sound as well, just like what I did. You can use a multiple track or just one track. Smooth beginning and the smooth ending. Like for instance, let's say this one already has a smooth beginning. Like for instance, your sound file, it doesn't have kind of a smooth beginning, like a smooth ending. You can create that. Select the audio file and go to Effect Control window, and then you should see no opacity, but you will see volume, volume level, 0 decibel dB. So you can start with like minus negative 100, okay, and then you will probably hear no sound, right? And then provide a little time. So I'm gonna go to the. Oh, I think this is way too long. Oh, well, look at this, it's really long. I'm gonna cut this. Right, and then go to the right. Okay, I'm gonna make this one 0. Okay, so do you see this fade in visually? See, 100 negative 100 decibel. So this is a 0 decibel. So let's preview this. You know what I'm saying? So if you like to see this one longer, you can move this one to the right. Okay, 0 decibel. You can make a nice ending. I'll start with here. 0 decibel, the original level. I'll go to the end, and then change this one. Like I think 60 will be more than enough. See right here, look at this. Fade in and fade out. There. So everything is great, and then you need to export this one. Just go to File, Export, Media. Okay, don't forget to choose this one. We have a bunch of different options. If you don't choose this one, you won't get MP4 file, MP4. Okay, select H.264, and the preset, you must select this one, the first one, high bit rate. Export the video, check. Export audio, of course, check. And what about this one? Output name, this, and the title, okay, title of your animation. And are we saving this file to right place? Yeah, test project, your project folder, and then go to movies right here, and then save. And then go down and you should see this one, use maximum render quality. I want you to check on this one too. So, and then export. Done. Yeah, it done so quickly because we have only 7 seconds here. So 8 seconds. My project folder and the movies. Here we go.